2018, I was diagnosed with BPD and bipolar 2. I felt it my whole life, but it wasn't until then that I actually put a name to it. So I was 51 when I was finally officially diagnosed. In the fall, I started having some serious issues, like my mental health issues kind of started escalating, and I started having issues with dissociation, happening quite frequently, and my anxiety and mood swings were getting worse. So I finally decided to try the ketamine. I've had so many lightning bolt moments over the past couple of months with this ketamine. Like I'm understanding things, like I could see, back in my entire life, things are starting to make sense, and a lot of the pieces are starting to fall into place. First couple of months were a bit of a roller coaster until we found the right dosage, kind of, up and down. But I started definitely noticing it right away. Probably about at the 2 month mark around February, it started really settling in, I thought. And it's kind of when it started sticking. And what I mean by that is, I was feeling the effects in between the doses. It was kind of I was starting to kind of could tell it was kind of starting to settle in. I usually take it early mornings when I first wake up before I actually get up. So I'm kind of still laying in bed. And I kind of cycle through, usually about a 90-minute cycle I go through, and there is a period where I do feel a sense of a little bit of disassociation, but I kind of like that because what it does, it kind of gives me a little bit of a detachment, and it's during those periods where I really feel like I can kind of see things and understand things very clearly. It's a very calm, clean, natural feeling when it's really settling in. It really feels like my brain is just all that noise, all that anxiety that had been there my whole life. It starts to quiet down, and I can really feel like I can really see things clearly, think clearly. When I feel this stuff working, it's like my brain was in a swamp, and then it rises out of the swamp, and it kind of floats above, and I can just see everything clearly. The way anxiety happens in my brain. Again, a lot of that happens in those moments when I'm taking the ketamine, especially early mornings, those moments where I am getting that sense of dissociation, that a little bit of detachment. And it helps me it does help me to kind of see things clearly. Once it starts to go away, it's then that you really see what was really going on. And I think those lightning bolt moments were now when I'm in that place where the ketamine is, really calming me down and I'm getting that sense of where I could see things clearly. I look back, I'm like, oh my God, man, I was so messed up for so long. And again, it's one of those things where you don't really realize how bad off I was until it starts to go away. I think actually some like my college friends have noticed even like the tone of like, our text chats and things like that have changed a little bit. I'm a little looser and funnier and not quite so doom and gloom. Um, Most days, some days I still am. When I feel like those feelings like that anxiety and anger and the depression and stress and stuff that started to build up. I mean, now I understand what's going on, and I feel like I've got some tools now to fight it. It's microdosing, and so it takes a little while at the beginning to figure out your dosage. The side effects I've had have been very mild, and but they've been actually quite pleasurable. Like I said, that mild sense of detachment and kind of loopiness that I get, I actually enjoy that, and to me, that's actually part of the process. I mean, so many of them. They just never really worked for me that well. I mean, they just kind of, yeah, and the side effects were gross, and they just didn't seem to really do much. Uh, Again, like I said, I felt the effects of this immediately, but it's like it did take a couple of months for it to kind of stabilize compared to the other medications. I mean, not even close. You have to be a little bit patient at the beginning. It takes a little while to find that Goldilocks dose. So it's a little bit of a trial and error and a little bit of a roller coaster at the beginning. But I mean, I certainly saw enough, immediately that said, okay, I see where this is heading, and it just feels like this is the way I should have always felt. You know, that's how it feels. I mean, when it's done right, I mean, it's pretty profound, pretty powerful. I feel like this is probably the closest I'm going to get to a second chance at life. I really do.